Hello everyone and welcome back to the EVE Invasion World Tour. I'm here with Virion Stoneshard and this is the EVE Russia leg and we're here to watch Russian Weeb Squad go up against ZZ Boy. Can you let us know what the ships are here, Virion?
Yeah, Russian Squeep Squad or Russian Weave Squad are coming in with the Osprey Navy and a Vigil Fleet, whereas XE Boy Navy and Vigil Fleet. So we're seeing similar frigates again, but the difference here is these cruisers, which is going to be the main point here. Got a active tank Oman Navy versus a buffer Osprey Navy.
And that's not
It's gonna
just
be
the
interesting to
only
see
dish.
how the tactics.
That's not just the only difference here, though, Virion. We've got the Omen Navy issue being way better at killing off the frigate than the Osprey Navy issue. Those hams are not good at applying to frigates. And you can see the two frigates here actually just running away right at the start of the match. That's a good call. Both of these ships have the potential to eat that frigate alive if they can catch it. So it looks like, yeah, we can see there that the red Osprey Navy is going in, trying to lock down the Osprey Navy and let the mercenary in his Vigil Fleet issue get away. You can see here he's been caught, nearly pushed up to the edge of the arena. It doesn't look like the Omen Navy issue has been able to get webs on him though, so he's going to be tackled down here by the Osprey Navy issue and stopped from killing it.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Vigil Fleet issue from XE Boy has been out of the fight most of the time so far. He's just now, the Jones just now committing to killing the other Vigil Fleet issue, it looks like, but it's too late to stop any sort of defensive tackle from happening here. The Oman Navy is already heavily locked down.
Yeah, you can see the long range webs there really letting the beams, the pulses of that Osprey Navy issue apply. However, it looks like the tank of the Osprey Navy issue, the Omen Navy issue isn't holding here. He's in really low armor, and this Osprey Navy issue has barely been touched at all.
Yeah, that's just a matter of time. The Oman Navy is on an ancillary rep here, so those reps are going to start dropping really badly here. You're already
He is
seeing
in
the
structure
sniper
and
down to
gone.
nothing. He might not have Azure load. And that is a Vigil Fleet versus a Osprey Navy. That's gonna basically be it. There's not much a Vigil Fleet with a little bit of buffer can do against an Osprey Navy, especially considering it's rocket fit, so it's not going to be able to outrange the Osprey Navy either.
No, this is a really awkward situation. We're just gonna have to see what happens here, and I suspect that the plan of the Vigil Fleet issue is going to be to try and bait the Osprey Navy issue into boundering. Still, this match played out in a really interesting way. We saw that Omen Navy issue try as hard as he could to get away from the Osprey Navy issue, despite the fact that it's a shorter range ship than the Osprey Navy. Why do you think he just tried to do that, Virion?
I'm not sure. They might have been playing more defensive. Like at the start of the match, you saw the Vigil Fleet issue Flight of Icarus pulling pretty heavily away, whereas Russian Reef Squad was going much more aggressive. Their Vigil was turning in and getting a nice orbit around the Oman Navy issue and immediately had him locked. So it probably was just playing off defensively, but not well enough. I would have expected some sort of like defensive webs on the Osprey Navy just to hold him down.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like either team is really taking advantage of that like extended web range and dancing around the edges of the cruisers like maybe they should have. Still, it makes sense though. Both of these ships have a lot of tackle, and it was going to be always going to be difficult for them to not land something with that range bonus web on the visual fleet issue.
Yeah, with the fits that they've got, both teams only just have webs as options, and the Vigil fleets like, they can, lock each other's cruisers down. But at some point, there's only so much you can do with a single web on either side to stop them from ramming each other. The Osprey Navy managed to get in close fast enough, and even then, at point,
Oh,
they
here we can
could
see
have
the
tried
Osprey
to.
Navy actually managing to get a newt off on the Vigil Fleet issue. Let's see if this actually impacts it. It might be able to potentially turn off its MWD, but it doesn't look like it's going to, unfortunately. The Vigil Fleet issue there just turning around and going the entire other way.
Yeah, burning in a straight line, getting far away is well, pretty good decision. He might just start trying to kill off these drones here by the looks of it, which is also a smart call. He's got to get those up if he wants to have any chance of mitigating any of the damage from the Osprey Navy.
Yeah, it's worth noting though the Osprey Navy issue does have the victory in the bag though. There's not a huge reason for him to even chase after the Vigil Fleet issue here. All he has to do is survive and he will win the match.
Yeah, it's all on the Vigil Fleet here. He has to make a play at some point.
It looks like he's just doing what he can to pull him around, but drive. You can see there what he's trying to do, where he's trying to drive by, land a couple of rocket shots in, and then move away and hope that he can eventually chip away at this Osprey Navy issue, but I don't think he has time to do anything like that. I think he barely has time, even if he loads rage rockets and prays that the Osprey Navy
Looking at
issue
how
burns out
far
his
he is from the
guns.
center of the arena, though, he's only looking like he's trying to play some boundary games here. He was just over 100 kilometers, so he's getting boundary, maybe just trying to lure the Osprey Navy in and do something stupid.
Fair
It's
enough.
interesting to see the difference, though. The difference in application that you were talking about at the start of the match. The Osprey Navy is just not managing to apply any damage, even though you can see his heavy assaults are actually landing. It's just barely skirting any damage because the Vigil Fleet is just that fast.
Yeah, hams are also notoriously bad at applying to frigates. They have such a high base signature required to do maximum damage that even with Sig Bloom from an MWD, the Vigil Fleet issue probably isn't going to be taking anywhere close to full damage from them.
Whereas with the Navy, you just saw as soon as the Vigil Fleet from the other team was webbed, the Omen Navy just put 2 shots into him and it was dead.
Yep, that's
massive difference.
Yeah, we also have to note that the Omen Navy issue does have a tracking bonus, so it's way more specialized at doing something like that.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, faction turrets are actually helping here as well. They should have a little bit better tracking than the T2 turrets. I think so.
Yeah, they do. They have a better base damage multiplier as well, but they don't get the benefit of the specialization skill, which adds the most DPS, and is why T2 is better than faction normally.
Yeah, in matches like this, you would have seen that Omen Navy immediately in range and just fire and Scorch off and just have an amazing application. But it was still just enough.
Well, that'll be the case with the newest patch that's coming in, which will allow faction guns and officer guns to use T2 ammo, as announced by CCP Rise on Twitter.
A reason to spend more money on your ships. What could go wrong?
I'm sure I'll enjoy the blingy kill mouse.
Looks like the drone war is off. The Osprey Navy isn't deploying any drones anymore. It looks like the Vigil Fleet managed to use his drones a little bit better, get the enemy drones down. But even that, the rocket damage and just the small drone damage from the Vigil Fleet is probably just not going to be enough.
He's doing his best. Like, I think if this match went on for long enough, the Vigil Fleet issue would eventually win.
Eventually. I like it. He's playing smart, playing very safely, but it's just he's got so little damage to play with, and the Osprey Navy has a lot of buffer to chew through.
Yeah, it's just a combination of those two things, and there we can see, however, that the match is over, and Russian Weeb Squad will take the first game in this series.
Yep, that's a timeout.